Hey guys, this is going to be a quick tutorial showing you how I created this offset effect. It's pretty fun to play around with and very, very modular. As in, I was just kind of playing around with Premiere and you can pretty much manipulate everything about it. And I'm also incorporating another portion of the tutorial, kind of like my object manipulation tutorial, but it's a little more in depth because it will show you also how to remove the side buildings as well. So let's jump on into it. Awesome. If you guys like the tutorial, please click that thumbs up and subscribe because I'm going to be making some more stuff in the future. We're going to be working with these set of videos real quick. One is of my friend Sammy, just kind of looking like this. The other one is a building right here that I've used in previous tutorials. So let's jump on into it by looking at this video. As you will notice, I have an audio track down here that has a drive beat, as in bump, 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 bump. So I'm going to edit to the audio. Whenever there is a drive beat, you always want to edit to the audio because it will make your video more effective. So all you have to do to start this effect is simply copy your video, drag it up to the top layer, and we're going to drag it to the start of the second beat, and simply click on the video, go to the opacity tab, and this is where the fun starts. So over here in the select zoom level, click on it and change it to 75 so I have some room to work with outside of the video frame. Go back over to the effect controls tab and click on opacity, and you could either create any one of these masks. I'm going to do the free draw Bezier just so I can get a perfect mask. I'm going to drag this around my friend's face, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but the closer you are to the original image, the better it will be. And let's just finish this out here, drag that and connect it to the very end. Now what we want to do is hide our underlying layer just so we can check out our mask. I'm going to change the feather to about 50 and go from there. That looks great. So all you have to do now is simply retoggle the underlying layer and move this to the left a tiny bit. As you'll see, we have a hard edge right here. So what I'm going to do is go back to that second video layer and click on the mask and change this mask to a diagonal, something like this, and something up here just so it is out of the way. Probably going to drag it a little bit more, and you guys can play around with this because every video is going to be very different. Voila. I'm also going to change the mask feather to about 150 because I like how this faded look looks. So now that that is done, I'm going to copy that layer and drag the start of it to the next beat drop and move it out to the left a little bit more. As I'm doing this, you guys are seeing a pattern, so I'm going to copy that video layer again and drag this to the next beat drop and move it out one last time. So you notice that all my moves are a little bit unison, so it looks something like this. So now that we have these duplicates on the face out here, we want to figure out when we want that to come back to the normal face. So as I'm looking at my audio tracks, so there's a bass hit right here and a snare hit right here. So I am going to make this come back right on the bass hit, which is right there. I'm going to drag my playhead to about the start of that bass hit. I'm going to hit C on the keyboard and cut all three of the clips that are duplicated, and then go to the start of the snare and cut them again. I can delete the last three videos because I will not need them anymore, but all I'm going to do is manipulate this since this is the bass hit to the snare hit, and I want the snare hit to be the original video. All you have to do is click on the video layer, go to the very beginning by clicking up here and dragging, and click on the position keyframe, and then go to the very end and click on the reset parameter. You'll notice that it'll create a keyframe for the end of the clip. That'll pretty much drag it to the original position. So we're going to do the same thing for all of these videos. Click up here, drag to the very beginning, and click on the position keyframe. Drag this to the very end, and click on the reset parameter keyframe. Do the same for the last video. Drag to the beginning, position keyframe, drag to the very end, hit the reset parameter keyframe, and as you'll see if we play through this, it pretty much resets it. And you'll notice since we deleted these three videos, it resets it back to the normal original underlying video. So that all in all looks like this. So also you will be able to manipulate all of these individually, and that's why they're completely modular. So I'm excited to see what you guys create as far as changing your mask, adding another mask feather, really doing pretty much anything you want. But that brings me on to the next portion of this tutorial, which is very similar to my object manipulation video where I go over how to do stuff like this. So we're going to duplicate this again. So we notice that we have our steady beats down here, which is nice to edit to audio. Click on that second video layer and we're going to create a mask around the building. We're going to do a free draw Bezier and just kind of make something like this. Boom, boom, boom. Doesn't have to be perfect. So now that it's there, we're gonna hide our first video layer and play around with this mask. I'm gonna change the mask feather to about 50 to make it blend a little bit easier. And I'm also going to get rid of all the white so that when I manipulate this video, I don't have it running into the buildings and stuff like that. That white outline is gonna be annoying for later use. So all we have to do is go to the effects tab, type in color key, drag the color key onto our duplicated video, and go to the effects controls tab, click on this eyedropper under color key, and click anywhere outside of the building. We're gonna drag that tolerance to about 35, and it's best seen when you hide your underlying video layer. Drag that tolerance up to about 35, and then we're gonna change the edge thin to about 1, and the edge feather to about 5. Now this is going to be completely modular for all of your videos, but that way whenever we manipulate this video, you will see that it will not infringe on the outside buildings when you get really close until you overlay it. So with that said, we can do the exact same thing that we did over here with the face and start manipulating the video and changing the scale a little bit, just like that. So it's... And if you guys are wondering if I wanted to remove the building entirely, it's pretty easily done. We're gonna make it right here. I'm gonna go back to the original size right there. And all we have to do is create a color matte over to block out that building. So I'm noticing that I want it for this entire clap right here, and that lasts about that long. So I'm just gonna cut right there just so I have my section. I'm actually not gonna delete this video because I need that original video to have the outside buildings. I'm gonna go to the project tab, click on this new item button down here and click on color matte. I'm going to click OK, and I'm pretty much going to click this eyedropper tool right here to select the color of the sky behind the building. And then once that is selected, I'm going to click OK and just name this sky. I'm going to drag this sky color matte on top of the original video and cut it to length. As you will notice, it is covering up the entire area. So we're going to go to the effects controls, click on the rectangular mask tool under the opacity tab, and drag this up and fix these edges till we get rid of this sky. You notice that there are a little harsh edges right here, so we are going to click on the sky and change the mask feather to about 100 or so, just so we can start to manipulate this a little bit, and we'll change the mask around a little bit to get it to match as best as we possibly could. So as you'll see, so the building disappears and reappears, and this last little note right here, we're pretty much going to disappear the outside buildings and make this main building the center of the attention. So I'm going to reset the parameters on our duplicated video, since this is the one that we can modify without infringing on everything else, and drag that video to the third video layer. And all we have to do is copy this sky layer by holding Alt and copy that sky layer over, because we can simply manipulate the mask expansion and it'll pretty much expand that out just like so. So what we're going to do, we're noticing that as soon as it jumps in though, it's a little harsh on that jump. So we want to start everything from 0. So we're going to go to the very beginning of the sky, change the opacity to 0. We want the opacity to come in a little bit faster than everything else, so we're going to make the opacity come in probably about a couple frames, all the way to 100, just so it blends together smoothly. And we're going to change the mask feather and mask expansion. We're going to keyframe the mask expansion and mask feather, and then we're going to go to the very end and change the mask expansion probably up to 800 to 1000, and change the mask feather to about 600 or so. Also, you'll notice we're getting a little bit of the sky white into our building, so we're just going to click on our top layer and adjust our mask path, because we seem to have lost our keyframes. Click right here and adjust the mask path a little bit as the video is going. A little bit in the beginning, adjust it right here. So yeah, it looks like this. Awesome. So as always, if you guys dug the tutorial, let me know in the comment section below. If you were confused by any of the sections that I went over, just let me know and I will hopefully clear that up in the comment section. As always, if you guys like the tutorial, like and subscribe, because I'm going to be making some more stuff in the future.
When I'm under your control, I'm losing my cool. Yeah.